The death toll in floods across a large part of southern Germany rose to 4.
Europe kicks off commemorations and ceremonies to mark 80 years since D-Day. Europe is preparing to mark 80 years since D-Day with a week of commemorations and ceremonies. On Tuesday, 2 French Navy landing craft arrived at Omaha Beach for an assault rehearsal. They were joined by US Army vintage Harley-Davidson motorbikes for a parade on the Normandy landing beaches. On the other side of the channel, the sea and the skies around the English city of Portsmouth were buzzing with ships and planes as British veterans left the coast of the UK, heading to France. On the 6th of June 1944, Allied forces invaded Normandy with an unprecedented armada of ships, troops and planes to punch a hole in Adolf Hitler's defenses in Western Europe and accelerate his final defeat. The veterans will take part in parades, school visits and other ceremonies, including the official June the 6th commemoration of the landings by soldiers from across the United States, the UK, Canada and other allied nations on 5 beaches.
The United States has urged the United Nations to accept a 3-phase ceasefire and hostage deal between Israel and Hamas proposed by President Joe Biden. The plan would see an end to fighting in Gaza after nearly 8 months, along with the release of all hostages and a huge increase of aid into the territory. US Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield says the US has sent a draft resolution to the 14 other council members, which includes a full and complete ceasefire within the first 6 weeks. It would also reiterate the Council's commitment to a 2-state solution and stress the importance of unifying the Gaza Strip and the West Bank under Palestinian Authority. Hamas has said it views the proposal positively. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the offer still has gaps. Acceptance of the deal would also threaten Netanyahu's presidency, as ultra-nationalists say they'll bring down his government if he agrees to a ceasefire that doesn't completely eliminate Hamas. But if he rejects the deal, he risks worsening Israel's isolation from the international community and could come under fire for abandoning the hostages in favor of protecting his own position. It comes as the Palestinian death toll rises to more than 36,000, according to Gaza's health ministry, with thousands of people returning to find their homes in Khan Yunis turned to rubble after having fled to Rafah earlier in the war. Basic infrastructure in the area is lacking, with no available water, food or proper sewage system. Much of Gaza's 2.3 million population has been displaced since the war started, and large parts of the territory have been destroyed. The United Nations has even warned of full-blown famine as humanitarian aid struggles to reach the Palestinian people.
The death tolls in floods across a large part of southern Germany rose to 4. The victims include 3 people found in flooded basements. On Sunday, a firefighter died while trying to rescue trapped residents. Due to the rising level of the Danube River, which has reached 5.9 meters, the city of Regensburg has declared a state of emergency. The flood situation in Switzerland has eased considerably. Yet the Rhine between the mouth of the Ahr and Basel is still at warning level 3 out of 5, as is Lake Constance. Water is overflowing the banks in several places. The authorities expect water to continue to rise until the middle of the week. Divers, drones and helicopters were searching for a young man who was swept away by flash flooding in a river in northern Italy. a day after the bodies of his two female companions were found. The three friends became trapped on a gravel bar in the middle of the northeastern region of Friuli Venezia Giulia when the river level suddenly began to rise.
Ursula von der Leyen has reiterated her proposal for the creation of a European shield for democracy after she was asked about Russian foreign interference during a visit to Sweden. Russian Foreign Ministry Foundation Pravfond is suspected of financing disinformation campaigns in Europe. Internal documents from the foundation also show it would have helped pay for the legal defense of Russian spies. It would have operated in 48 countries.
The Portuguese government announced a new plan to toughen immigration rules. They put an end to the regime that allowed foreigners to enter the country and only then apply for a residence permit. From now on, it will no longer be possible for a foreigner with a tourist visa to apply for legalization in Portugal.
A circunstância de termos procedimento segundo o qual uma simples manifestação de interesse é suscetível de facilitar e descontrolar a entrada de migrantes em Portugal, deve ter fim e vai ter fim.
The announcement comes days before millions of Europeans head to the polls to vote for their representatives in the European Parliament, in an election widely anticipated to tilt the bloc's politics to the right.
With just a few days to go before the European Parliament elections, the leaders of Greece's main parties are making their final pitches to voters. They hope to secure solid results for their parties as well as bolster election turnout by attracting young voters.
Θυμάστε που ήμασταν το 2019, όταν για πρώτη φορά μας εμπιστευθήκατε, κάναμε τότε μια μεγάλη προσπάθεια να ανατάξουμε πρώτα και πάνω απ' όλα την εικόνα της Ευρώπης. Διότι δεν μας τιμούσε, φίλες και φίλοι, να πηγαίνουμε στην Ευρώπη και όλοι να μας βλέπουν τότε, θυμάστε, ως το μαύρο πρόβατο, την προβληματική χώρα της Ευρωζώνης. Αυτό άλλαξε. Η Ελλάδα σήμερα είναι μια χώρα της οποίας η γνώμη και η φωνή μετράει στην Ευρώπη. Είναι η ευχάριστη έκπληξη ως προς τους ρυθμούς ανάπτυξης, ως προς τις μεταρρυθμίσεις που έχουμε πετύχει.
Stefanos Kasselakis, leader of Greece's far-left opposition party Syriza, has also been out campaigning. Syriza is polling far behind the ruling right-wing New Democracy Party with just over 15% of voting intentions. Socialist Party PASOK's leader Nikos Androulakis has questioned the election's legitimacy, claiming millions of voters either abstain or make extreme choices due to economic and social insecurity. The elections will take place on the 9th of June in Greece.
We are a business alliance of numerous German companies and organizations.
Some of Germany's top businesses are asking its employees and the public to reject extremism ahead of EU elections. It comes amid fears of how well the far-right AfD could do after it reached an all-time high in polls last year. Mercedes, Deutsche Bank, and dozens of other companies have formed an alliance to warn that intolerance will damage the economy. They say Germany needs a diverse workforce to remain competitive. It's a rare political step for German businesses. Deutsche Bahn, a member of the alliance, says it's taking part in the campaign because the fight against extremism is urgent and needs to be done loudly.
With the EU elections is Europe's openness at stake. Europe's cohesion is at stake, and we would, as a transportation company, we consider it as the basis for our business.
Not all businesses are coming out against extremism. The owner of the dairy company Müller told the newspaper that he was friends with the leader of the AfD and that they talk about politics. Soon after reports that they had met, the interior minister told companies that they should take a stand against the far right. This political scientist says the alliance is unique because German companies normally stay away from party politics.
The enemy is quite clear. And in former times we had campaigns for diversity and openness and things like that, but not against one single party. So this is new.
The alliance criticizes positions that the AfD is known for, such as isolationism and populism. Deutsche Bahn says it wants people to vote, but says it's not advocating against any particular party.
This is important that it also shows people within our workforce that it's important to speak up, and it's not a flash in the pan, you know, it's not just one demonstration and that's it.
Hello, my name is André, and I am the co-founder of Ativet, a Portuguese youth association that strives to pave the way for a more inclusive and democratic society. Our main focus is political literacy, especially with European elections, to have citizens more engaged and informed. And if I were a member of the European Parliament, I would strive to make every voice heard, especially from the youth, and I would advocate for policies that promoted civic education and participation and opportunities for the youth in decision-making processes, because together we can help build a better future for the European Union.
Ich bin Lina Jonsen, ich bin 26 Jahre alt und mein Vorschlag für die Zukunft ist ziemlich simpel: mehr Demokratie. Es reicht nicht, wenn wir alle 4 Jahre ein Kreuz machen. Wir sollen in Gesellschaftsräten zusammenkommen und auch das Vertrauen und die Gewissheit haben, dass Vorschläge umgesetzt werden, dass wir Mitbestimmungsrecht haben und das Interesse vieler Menschen über dem Interesse einiger weniger steht.